Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, all of the English letters are a little bit difficult when it comes to pronunciation because they can take on different forms depending on where they appear in the word. So it makes it a little bit hard sometimes if you're trying to get that perfect accent. Now, there's loads of places on the internet that you can download audio clips of British sounds. My favorite one, as you know, is in anti-moon. If you Google anti-moon sounds of English, you're going to find a little bit more about the 50 sounds of English. But today, I want to tell you all about the letter S. Now, the letter S is a little bit tricky for pronunciation because it can actually make a variety of sounds. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what's new? Because it looks like all English sounds can be pronounced in a variety of ways. And you would be right. But the letter S is kind of cute, isn't it? And it's also one of the biggest difficulties for some people in the world. For example, if you think of a sentence like, "This is my mother," which is completely wrong. It should be, "This is my mother." You can hear there that the letter S and the letter Z are kind of all mixed up. Another one is, for example, some people call me Joseph with a Z. And of course, that's not my name. My name is Joseph. So again, the letter S and the letter Z often become a little bit tricky. This is, compared to this is. In some specific instances, S can also create other sounds as well. If you think of the word sure, or the word usual. Yeah, so you see there, already we found 4 ways to pronounce the letter S. We started off with, of course, this is, and then I was demonstrating to you this is, which is the wrong way of doing it. And then, of course, there's others, as in sure or sugar. And then, of course, there's usual, a Z sound. So already we found quite a few. Now, as I'm always saying, the only way you're really ever going to get the correct pronunciation is by shadowing, listening to a native speaker and just keep repeating how he speaks. It's the only way. And it's the only way because we hear so many different variations across the English world. Choose one speaker from the area you like and just keep copying those sounds until you get it right. If you try to do it the other way, by taking all of these sounds that I'm talking about and then trying to learn them, it'll get a little bit boring. So it's better you simply hear a native speaker, keep repeating the sounds. Do it sound by sound if you want, letter by letter, or word by word. My personal view is that take one sound and just focus on it for, let's say, one day. So you're shadowing for 20 minutes, and then you can focus in on one sound. For those of you who are new to shadowing, or you don't know what it is, it's when you put on the radio and you try to repeat whatever you hear. Now, it's not repeating words, it's actually trying to capture sounds like the ones we're discussing. So I want you to try and do that today with the letter S. It's not just the letter S that's the problem. Loads of these English letters can be pronounced in different ways. I mean, I was watching Dracula last night, and all I heard was, "I want to eat you." And I'm thinking, no, Dracula, it's "I want to eat you," not want. So you can see how something like this in English can immediately give away the fact that you're not British. To give away in this case is a phrasal verb which means to reveal, for example. So, if just as an example, okay, I'm playing a game. It could be that I accidentally give away the answer to the puzzle. But getting back to these letters, it's really important that you learn them, because a simple mistake like "I want to eat you" rather than "I want to eat you," kind of tells you immediately that you're talking to Dracula. If Dracula said, "Oh, excuse me, would it be possible for me to eat you?" You might not think it's Dracula. You might think it's a bit of a strange thing to say, but you wouldn't think it was Dracula necessarily, unless, of course, he's standing there with a cape and the fangs. But anyway, I'm using this as an example, okay? So let's get back to our letter S. So, the pronunciation of S is the easiest to remember when it's the first letter of a word, because it's usually always pronounced as hard S, sap, set, social, or in the case of Dracula, scare, scar, okay? Small, spell, square, start. Now you can hear there that that's quite a hard S, okay? Of course, if you put different letters around it, it changes. Like, for example, if you add an H, it becomes share or ship, shy. Then, of course, at the end of the words, it can be a little bit different depending on the word that it's ending. So if you compare, for example, attacks, it still has the hard S, or bites. That's what Dracula does. Keeps, for example. And also, of course, when there's a vowel before that final S, okay, like, for example, aromas, tornadoes. It gets a little bit softer there, just a little bit. Buses. It has a kind of a Z sound coming in, but not completely. And then if you think of other ones, like leaves, you can hear there that the S becomes almost like a Z. Now, as I said before, don't try to memorize all of this because you'll just go insane. You'll end up like me teaching on italki and being completely useless in society except to teach people the letter S. So knowing this knowledge isn't going to help you use it. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just remember this and my life is complete. Well, it's not quite as straightforward as that, because you really need to be applying this. And the way you apply it is not by learning the rule, it's by demonstrating the rule. So, listen to how I'm saying the letter S during my podcasts. Where does it become a Z and where is it an S? Okay. So, for example, if we look at a possessive, John's shoes. John's shoes. You can hear there that it's not John's shoes, it's John's shoes. Again, it's shimmering away to become a Z. You can learn all of this as much as you like, but the chances are you're not going to remember it. So the best way to do this is by imitating a native speaker. For 20 minutes a day, just this week, take the letter S in its Z form, its S form, its sh form, like sure and sugar, and just try to repeat them every time they come up. It's the only way, and it's the best way you're going to learn. And it doesn't end there. There's all kinds of other sounds the letter S can make, depending on which letters are around it. For example, if you think of the word Tuesday or clumsy, cosmetic, you can hear a very strong Z coming in there, but it's only because it's near the letter M or N. There's no way anybody can remember that. I mean, I wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for the fact that I'm reading it. Okay? So, in my daily life, for example, I don't go around just thinking about, oh, that letter S, does it have a letter M next to it? How should I pronounce that? Of course I don't. I'd be very boring if I did. And I certainly would have even less friends than I have now, not counting the doctor and the pharmacist. But anyway, yeah, the point is this. If you really want to know all of these sounds, get shadowing, listening to a native speaker on the radio or a podcast and repeating. It's the only way. Okay. There's also the silent S in words like debris, for example. After that terrible earthquake in Morocco, there's a lot of debris lying around. Island, another one where the S just vanishes. Oh, which brings me on nicely to Bonnie Tyler. Do you remember her song she did with Mike Oldfield, Islands? We are islands, but never too far. Yeah, she's quite old now, but did I tell you that she's only recently learned to swim? Isn't that great? At her age, she's doing something like that. I can't swim, terrified of water and elevators, two things which are intrinsically evil as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, she's doing very well. Anyway, so yeah, Isle, Viscount, debris. These are some examples of the letter S. And that's it from me. So I hope you've enjoyed this, all about the letter S. And please, 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 don't just go reading about the letter S because it's not going to help you speak better. I was reading a book the other day about gardening and how to make your garden pretty. But unless I actually go out and do the things the book says, my garden's going to stay the way it is, It's like looking at a cooking magazine and saying, oh, delicious. But unless you're actually prepared to cook the thing, nothing happens, nothing changes. So it's not about learning the rule, it's not about reading the magazine, it's about the doing. And in this case, you just need to give yourself some time to repeat after a native speaker every day. And if that means spending a month focusing on the letter S to get all the sound right, just keep listening for how it all pops up. And copy people. Sound a bit fake, but you know the saying, fake it till you make it. Okay? So, yeah. All right. Well, that's it from me for today. So I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.